You're the girl who craves more out of life. You don't want a man to buy you things. You just don't want to need one to buy you things. You don't just dream of success, baby. You want to live it, breathe it, and own it. You want to wake up every day knowing you control your time, your money, and your peace. And at the end of the day, you can look in the mirror and say, I've got me. Well, baby, this show is for you. This show is for the girl who wants to build wealth but doesn't know where to start. The girl with ambition but no clear passion yet. The girl who wants to be an entrepreneur but she just doesn't know what to build. The creative who's tired of chasing algorithms and trends, because I know y'all tired. The new business owner who wants real guidance and not recycled advice. The corporate girl climbing the ladder with confidence and personality, and the girl who doesn't mind a little mess, but dreams of a life that's rich and not stressful. Here's the tea. You're young, ambitious, and you've got vision, but you're also a bit of a beautiful mess. Now that's okay? Because not only have I been you, baby, I am you, okay? Welcome to the nosiest corner on the internet. This is the show where we get nosy about success, habits, business, and building the kind of wealth that lets you breathe easy. And today, we're gonna get into 4 non-negotiables you need to start your hustle, because it all begins with one thing that you're gonna hear me talk about a lot here: your mindset, baby. See, I'm a 2-time failed entrepreneur who went bankrupt by the age of 21 trying to run 2 businesses with no resources, no roadmap, and no support. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. So trust me when I say success isn't about looking the part on Instagram, because trust me, I looked the part, but my pockets was empty. Oh no, girl. It's about becoming that girl every single day. And yes, boo, it's possible. I'm your nosy girl, and this is the first episode of Success for Less, the show where I put my nosy nature to work, spilling the real lessons I've learned about hustling, building, failing, and by God's grace, coming back stronger if y'all like this show, okay? And the best part is I spill tea for free because, well, I can. You're welcome.
You remember when I grind slow? Did I really blow your mind though? Nah, you got me confused with your other booze.
Can I go right away?
In 3, 2, 1.
Now, before we get into the tea and the biscuits about what are the 4 non-negotiables you need to know before starting your hustle, I do want to say that when I was 19, I decided to start a business, okay? And I started this business in the midst of a lot of things. I was a varsity athlete in college. I was in college full-time. And when I say in college full-time, I mean I was not taking part-time classes. I was taking 5 classes, 6 classes a semester, trying to graduate early. I was a full-time waitress. It was technically part-time on paper, but it was definitely full-time, okay? They was racking up my hours. And I was also trying to run a business. Now, this leads me to pitfall number 1. Before we talk about the 4 non-negotiables, you need to know when you are doing too much. And as the queen of doing too much, here's the thing that I need to tell you. You need to check yourself, okay? Immediately. If you're sitting there thinking that I can handle it all, I can do it all, especially as a Black woman, I always feel like I can handle and do it all, but I be tripping. And a lot of y'all are out there tripping. I mean, it's really funny when I think back on the experience, because at the time, not only was I trying to be good at rugby, which was my sport, and be great in class, and also be an amazing server and make tips so I can make more money to go towards my hustle, but I was also trying to be a good daughter, a good friend, and things started falling apart, and I was looking around like, girl, what's going on? But the thing is, I was spreading myself too thin. And that's the first non-negotiable about trying to start your hustle. You need to be honest about where you are. And there's such thing as not starting something at the right time. The greatest thing you can do for yourself is start something at a better time. Now, I don't truly believe in the idea of there's a right time. The first non-negotiable is start at a time that is not the wrong time, okay? When I say start at the time that is not the wrong time, here's what I mean. If your mental health is in the pits of hell, baby girl, that is not the right time. That is absolutely the wrong time, okay? If you are in school, you're working, you have a million interests that you're in, you volunteer at the homeless shelter, it's the wrong time, okay? The greatest thing you can do for yourself is set yourself up for success by being focused on one thing at a time. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one thing at a time. Like, I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, you have to only focus on this specific thing for X amount of time and it's gonna grow. But you need to be able to know that if you have multiple things going on, something is going to suffer. For me, it was my marks. And then when it wasn't my marks, it was my rugby career. And then when it wasn't my rugby career, it was my business. So stop spreading yourself too thin and know how to balance and how to measure within yourself that it's the wrong time. Now, here's my favorite part that I love to talk about. And a part that is really interesting to hear people's responses to when we go through it. I'm gonna ask you a question right now, okay? I wanna ask you, do you know your blind spots? And when I say blind spots, I mean, do you know the things that you aren't good at, your shortcomings? If you just answer the question, you said yes, girl, shut off the TV. Just close the cameras. Go home. You need to reflect because you don't know your blind spots. Even when you think you know your blind spots, you don't know them. When I first started my business, when I first started my first hustle, okay, which was an educational company that like we taught through food. We'd go to different schools. We teach little kids with food and we do all these workshops. I thought at the time that my shortcoming was I was focused on too many things at once, but that I was too ambitious. That's dumb. That's stupid. If you think that your shortcoming is a positive thing, oh, I'm just too tenacious. Get a grip now. Get a grip right now because that's not it, okay? And it's also important to have people around you that you are able to go to and be like, hey, what are my shortcomings? Now, we will talk about building your hustler circle in another episode and later on in this episode as well, because we also want to monitor and check who we are reflecting with and asking for opinions from, because sometimes we go to people asking for opinions and those people can't even opinionate themselves or have false ideas of who they are. So how can they really help you? The thing is, you can't fix what you don't admit, sis. So the thing that you need to do, most especially, is figure out your shortcomings. I want you to go to the 5 closest people in your life and ask them, hey, do you know my shortcomings? Now, when I say the 5 closest people in your life, there's a little caveat here. Now we're gonna talk about building your hustler circle. Now, the greatest thing about building a hustler circle, you might ask me, B, what's a hustler circle? What does that necessarily mean? Your hustler circle are people you can go to, okay, when things are going left. I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions when you're building your hustler circle. These 3 questions are, can I see this person in my dream life? Would I call this person in a crisis? Does this person have qualities that I can learn from? If the answer to all of those is no, they need to be moved to acquaintance level. They're not your friend and they're not your best friend. And also, can we talk about the fact that not everybody in your life needs to be all in your business? You can have friends for different things. I have friends that I just go to coffee with and that's it. I have friends that I go to the movies with and that's it. I have my girl, shout out Sarah Doyle. My friend Sarah Doyle and I go for margaritas and that's what we do. But if my business is falling apart, I'm not gonna call Sarah Doyle. Sarah Doyle work in a hospital. What's Sarah Doyle gonna help me for? You know what I mean? Do y'all know? Anyways, all that to say, build a circle of people around you that fulfill those three questions. And if the answer to all 3 is yes, then that should be one of the top 4 people that you should have in your hustle circle. These should be people that you're investing in a relationship, you're talking to every day, you can talk to about your business problems. And some of y'all asking those questions, you're gonna realize, unfortunately, and this really sucks, that in the life you're trying to attain, sometimes family members, I'm talking about your mama and your daddy, no shade, they may not fill that category. Sometimes your mom and your daddy, they do not have your best interest at heart. That uncle that told you, oh yeah, let's go into business. No, absolutely not, okay? I really need y'all to drill on this. And the biggest thing about that is that it is hard. It's not easy to start a hustle, whether that's a side hustle, whether that's a full-blown business, whether it's to climb up the corporate ladder and get somewhere. And we'll talk about this in later episodes, but it's really important that you realize that where you're going is a place that not many people do go. Not everybody wants to be successful, and complacency is a disease. I will say it again. Complacency is a disease. And if you're okay with just being where you are and you're like, it's comfortable, I'm just paying my bills, I'm just getting by, I'm okay, I'm on food stamps. I mean, they just canceled SNAP, so not everybody's on food stamps no more. But like, I'm on food stamps and that's all right. Like, girl, this is not your video. You can never make it. You will not make it.
You are a failure. You are a failure. You can never make it. You can never, you know you cannot make it.
Please, this is not the video for you. Now, mind you, the hustler circle should not be more than, I want to say 3 people, but for all y'all friendly ladies who want to be friends with everybody, I'll give you 4 people max, okay? Here's the thing. As women, oh my God, as women, we think everybody's our best friend and we got to tell them all our business. Do y'all not know bad eye is real? Some of y'all are besties with people who are plotting on your downfall. Can we talk about it? If you have people in your life that you know are genuinely working against you, or every time you have an idea, I have an idea, Sharkeisha stole my idea. I have an idea, Jatavia stole my idea. I wonder why she stole your idea. Because you thought she was your best, well, she's my best friend. I don't even really like her, but she's my best friend. That's the problem. You should only have people around you who support and lift you up, which is also the same people that you should have to check your blind spots. When you ask people, what are my blind spots? Where am I messing up? These are the people you should go to, okay? The people, not the people who are stealing your idea, not Jatavia and whoever else, Sharkeisha. You should be going to people that you can ask yourself these 3 questions. Here's the thing about asking people about your shortcomings. It's gonna be hard, okay? And it's gonna be a lot to work through within yourself, and you got to get a grip. You got to brace yourself for the worst, because you might hear things like, you never finish what you start, red flag. Every day you have a new project, red flag. You never listen to nobody, red flag. My mama's great at telling me that one. You have a hard head, red flag. But here's the thing, just because you have these shortcomings does not mean that it's gonna stop you from doing what you wanna do. The greatest thing about knowing your shortcomings and knowing your blind spots is that you can surround yourself with people who have those skills that you don't. And it may not be a physical skill. Like for me, I cannot record a video to save my life. Shout out Leo. Shout out Leo, because he can record a video. Leo's recording the video right now. Shout out the team, okay? Shout out Cam for the audio. You know, if they could say hi, if they had mics, they would say hi. Anyways, Joe's doing the lights. You know what I mean? So I can't do those things. So I have people around me who can support me to do that. Let me give you an example. Your friend who's got a man that's not really their man, that they're like, oh, I'm never gonna talk to him tomorrow. And then all of a sudden they change their mind. And you're like, well, you said you weren't gonna talk to him yesterday, and now all of a sudden you talking to him? Yeah, that red flag. If you are the girl who does that, red flag. You can't be changing your mind all the time. Because once you start a hustle, you have to be full force, bae. And if you know your shortcomings, it's easier to gauge things that you might mess up on. My biggest shortcoming that took me literally going bankrupt to learn, I'm impatient as hell. I cannot wait for things to develop. I don't wait for nobody. And you know what that led me to do? It led me to take out a $50,000 loan and kill my credit, okay? So what I can tell you is know your shortcomings, because once you know your blind spots, you can create a circle of people who can help support you in filling those roles. The last non-negotiable that I would like to talk about is the fact that you cannot be borrowing everybody money when you are trying to come up. And I'm gonna get a little bit more serious for this one. This is one that has been really hard for me to learn. Generosity can only come from a well, okay? As in an unlimited source of flowing waters. And unless you are a well that's filled with all of this cash that you can give and it's not gonna come back to bite you later, you should not be borrowing money anyhow anyway. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in the immigrant child episode, because I do have an episode on, you know, the dynamics when it comes to Black people, especially I'm first generation Nigerian or Nigerian American, like my mom's from Nigeria, and there's a big rhetoric around, you know, kids have to give back to their parents, which I agree with. But we ain't growing up in the same economy as our mommies and daddies. We can talk about that later. But I do want to say that it's really important to watch your coin when you're starting a hustle, because watching your coin is something that's going to help you develop later in the future. And the more money you save now, bae, the better you can advance your hustle. And the better you can advance your hustle, the more you can help people in the future. More than just your family, but also, I don't know, homeless people on the street, hungry people in the world. You can do so much more when you've built something solid. But right now you're on shaky ground and you're trying to help people, and then everybody's shaking, and then you're all looking at each other stupid. Like, it's like the, what do you call it? The Spider-Man meme where everybody's like pointing at each other. Y'all causing your own problems. So yeah, stop borrowing people money. So all in all, we're gonna go through the 4 non-negotiables. 1, know when you're doing too much. 2, You also got to be ready to roast yourself, okay? Know your blind spots, know your shortcomings. 3, build a group of people around you that you are able to depend upon, that can also check you when you are losing your mind. And lastly, don't be giving out money to everybody, okay? Protect what you got going on now so that way you can give more to people in the future. Anyways, y'all, I'm Be the Nosy Girl, and I just gave y'all success for less. The rest is now on you. I'll see y'all next time.